Talk.
Welcome to Let's Talk. I'm your host, Cass McGill. We're here at Assumption High School today to talk about robotics.
I was introduced to the program back in October by SaberBytes 772, and what they've done is it opened up an entire new door for us here at school, at St. Anne's High School, and I believe in the community. They've opened up a program that introduces the students to what's ahead, where we're headed in the future.
Robotics is where you can learn things that you learn in high school and apply it right there and there.
You're the most senior mentor in the group right now from Sandwich. Why is this such a passionate topic?
Engage kids in science, technology, engineering, and math. It brings the application side to what's kind of seen as maybe a boring theoretical side of things, and it makes it more fun. It gives kids that instant gratification of an outcome, a 120-pound robot.
I think as administrator that this is so important for our young people to get involved in.
Well, it's a wonderful opportunity. This is a perfect example of out-of-the-box thinking and the skills that the employers are looking for. They need to be able to work collaboratively. They need to be able to, just think of new innovations, and this gives them a unique opportunity to do that.
Robotics is everything around you, and I just think it's amazing.
Learning CAD design, and that's something that I'll definitely need to use in my future career because I'm going to be designing things on a computer. And then I'm going to be doing wiring guides, and with my knowledge of how to integrate wiring and everything that I've learned from robotics, it's just going to make me that much better of an employee to a company in the future.
The program's so important to you, and what does it do for your educational opportunities?
Well, this program's amazing because it's available for everyone, and it's great for everyone.
Gracious professionalism really means, because that concept really enamored me as a wonderful thing to do.
Off the field, you're all working together. You're all helping each other. If you need help in the pits or you need a spare part, you help that person. You help that team to build that robot and to get back on that field. And a great example is at the Western Regional in Canada. There was a team that showed up, but it was only one person, and he showed up with a robot that was unfinished. A whole bunch of teams came together, and they helped finish that robot. They helped him drive the robot. They helped him scout to be able to pick if he ended up in the top 8.
Real business is like everything from the business side of it down through the technical, electrical programming side of it. First Robotics covers all of it, and that's why I love it.
My first year on the team, I was like, okay, this is cool, but my first regional in Tennessee, which surprisingly we won, but when we went there, I was just like, oh, I can't believe I'm part of this. Like, you just walk into that arena and you see all these people just cheering out the robots, and they're working together, and just like the environment, and then it's just completely different atmosphere, and you feel so proud of being there that you just feel like, yeah, this is where I want to be.
More than just robotics, and it's more than just students who are interested in science and technology or are good with their hands. This program actually brings together, you got your science people, your technology students, your engineering students, but you also have your business students, because there's a business competition that's a part of this this wonderful program. There's an animation component. You have students doing videos and animation for this competition. So what's wonderful is it brings together the technologically inclined students with the non-technologically inclined students. And that's the way project management works. So they're getting real project management experience and real leadership at a very early age.
Why, as a woman, and I'm pigeonholing this, not because in a derogatory way, but what did you find so exciting about taking part in this?
Well, just I've always been interested in sciences and stuff, and just the fact that we can apply our knowledge to the robot and actually be involved in building a robot and have hands-on and doing things like that. It's so exciting. It's one of the best things I've done, best team I've joined in my high school.
I was able to stay in the pits, and it was well set up because our pit was right next to all of the schools from this area, and that really fostered a lot of teamwork between the teams, because we could go to 772 if we needed a part or if we needed advice on programming, because our team was, I wouldn't say weak in programming, but we had a much stronger technical ability in our school, and we could go to them, or we could go to Maranatha or anybody, or even teams that weren't from our area, and we could go to them for any help that we needed. And as well as there's professionals from Centerline, Valiant, and sponsors of the whole event walking around, and being the team captain, I could talk to them, and it was very interesting being able to get their opinion on things and see them kind of looking, that's kind of cool, we wouldn't have thought to do that, and that was kind of interesting.
Tell us why this is so meaningful to you in terms of your career.
I see robotics being used in all sorts of different fields, and not even just the technical skills, but just the teamwork, the collaboration, the creativity, being applied to every kind of company within Windsor, Essex County. And the technology field is definitely going to boom, and we are in the top 10 list of technical cities in North America. And I see that we really need to develop these skills within the Windsor, Essex community. And even at the university level, we see that, like, with all the projects the students are taking on, the different competitive teams, that Windsor is a very competitive market for technology.
The young people in this program become pros. They become, that's one of the few projects in high school that they almost get into the job market very quickly.
One of the founder, actually, the founder of the program, one of his sayings is that the difference between our sport and every other sport is that all of our kids go pro. And really it's the truth. When you look at the kids around us in the room, and they're starting to make decisions on what they'd like to pursue as a career based on some of their experiences here. So it's true that all of our kids go pro, and we're here to try and help them.
Okay. All right.
I was just going to say, I think it's also worth mentioning as well, just to build on that, the types of companies that sponsor and mentor FIRST Robotics teams. You're looking at Chrysler, General Motors, Ford, Rockwell Automation, Boeing, NASA, you name it, Microsoft, Google. Every Fortune 500 company either sponsors a team financially or provides mentoring support. Locally, we have companies like Valiant and Centerline, Brave Controls and whatnot, and Enwin. What other program, high school program, is there where young people get to work side by side with mentors and idols from these role models from these fields, that they can actually reach out to an engineer from Boeing and talk one-on-one, not even as a teacher-student relationship, but as partners on a project? There's no other program that has that type of exposure. And when I was growing up, I could rattle off the starting lineup of the Detroit Tigers like there's no tomorrow. What we want these young people to do is to think of companies like Valiant, Centerline, Boeing, GM, and Chrysler as the teams they want to play for, and ideally here in Windsor and Essex.
Okay, I'm sorry for Maranatha. Thank you for coming. This is your first time on our show, so we really appreciate it. Why? And you've got a team of girls. Why is that so important to them?
Well, the industry is looking for females to step up in engineering and the technological industry, and it's our team just kind of came together that way. There are more females that came out, and it was just great to mentor them, get them working with their hands, get them thinking about what we taught in the classroom and now applying it to a project where they can work together and most of all have fun.
Recognition of science and technology. Okay. And it's basically a robotics competition. You have about 3,000 high schools worldwide competing in this competition, taking part. They basically take during the school year from about September to December. They do a lot of prep work. They build websites. They do videos. They do training in electrical, mechanical, and whatnot. And then from January till about middle of February, 6 weeks, they design and build these 120-pound robots. And you know, we do a really good job in Canada of sparking interest in young people at the elementary school level in science and technology, engineering, and mathematics. But for some reason, in high school, that interest just drops off a cliff. It's like a black hole. Young people lose their interest in science and technology. This program keeps that passion alight. And the reason why, it's because this is a sport. This is competition. So this has all the benefits of sport. You have teamwork, camaraderie, leadership, and fun. And when you go to a world championship or when you go to a regional competition, there are 20,000 young people from around the world screaming and dancing in the stands for 4 days straight competing. So it's much more than just the robot. And I'm hoping that some of the students here talk about the fact how it's much more than just technology and robotics.
It's also important to get mentorship, and I'm amazed by what's represented here today, because we've got 2 young men, and maybe more, who come from the university, who had been at the high school, and have offered to mentor high school students in their own time because they so much enjoy it. So Aaron, explain what you do.
All right, I was on the robotics team from grade 9. My dad actually was one of the mentors beforehand, so I got a really good experience before going into high school. And so once I entered high school, it helped me choose what I want to do. I ended up going to computer science because I loved programming so much on the robot. Now that I'm in computer science, I ended up going and helping 2 of the rookie teams, Assumption and MCA, and it was interesting to see how they were. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of cool to see someone from someone just getting into a brand new perspective. Everyone has different ideas. It's always great to see them develop. They ended up taking 2 totally different streams. One went offensive and the other one went defensive. And it was interesting how they both accomplished what they had to do, and they both did a really good job. And I love it. It was one of the highlights of my year, and I would definitely do it again.
You don't have to sit down and write all this stuff and like, oh my gosh, my pencil broke. Who has a sharpener? It's like you're actually there, you're active, and you're doing all this stuff. And I agree that if you're having fun, you're learning way more than just sitting down and being bored.
Okay, so how old are you, sir?
I'm 15.
Give me a message to all the 15-year-olds out there, why robotics is so fun.
It's fun because you get the experience of engineering, mechanical engineering, your electric engineering, basically almost everything you want to do in your future, possibly.
You, sir? Take the mic.
For me, robotics is something that's changed my life. I came in grade 9 last year, and I didn't know what I was getting into. And just for me now to say that I've built that robot, I designed part of that robot, I don't know how many other grade 10s there are out there that can say they've built and designed a robot already. And it's just amazing. And for my friends out there that don't know what we really do, they think, oh, we're going around smashing other robots because they've seen that on TV, right? They think it's small, but it's really big. It's multiple countries. It's just so big. It's hard to understand. It's hard to explain. But this, for me, first is my life. It's turned into my life.
I'm actually an international student in Canada, and as joining this team, I can experience.
Stand up.
Oh, okay. As joining this team, I enjoy like this culture better, and I know more people and know like how people actually work. So much interesting things here, and I really enjoy this experience.
So, Richard, when you're in Maranatha and it's a private school, and sometimes you don't get that opportunity to mix with other high schools in a meaningful way, how important was that for you to get the help and support for this project?
Yeah, it was very important. I remember when I was approached with starting this team, I remember just thinking, okay, how are we going to build a robot? We don't have a tech shop in our school. Where are we going to get the money to buy the parts? How are we going to learn how to program? There were so many things. Where are we going to build it? Even if we do get the help, and everything just kind of fell into place. There's so much help, excuse me, from Sandwich and from other mentors and parents coming on board. and everything just worked out, and our school had purchased an old community living building, and so we went in and we renovated the basement, and we had people bringing in tools and donating things for us. So we put the whole robot together in the basement there, and it's just a good experience.
Eric?
Yeah, I was going to say, we like to say that we're building an ecosystem in Windsor and Essex in this region for FIRST Robotics. And what we mean by that is that we'll take a school like Maranatha and we'll surround them with as much support as they need to get this program going. So for example, St. Clair College has been on board both financially and providing mentoring. The University of Windsor, we just established a FIRST Robotics Club where you have engineering and computer science and business students like Aaron and Alex going into the high schools and working hand in hand with the high school students. You have companies like Valiant, like Centerline, Brave Controls, and others, Anwin Utilities coming on board, both with mentoring, getting their engineers and their machinists to come on board to help these students and whatnot. So we're all coming together as a community, and that's really the beauty of that word that you used earlier, cooperation.
I didn't use it, you did.
Well, cooperation, all right. Cooperation is a big word in this community, and what it basically means is, yes, we compete against each other on the field, but we also work together, we collaborate. We want to make sure that all of us succeed, and what a beautiful lesson that is for the community here in Windsor.
I think our educational system is very theoretically based. Sit in a classroom, open your textbook, let's learn this. And this brings the application side to it. Tech teachers have been saying it for years. Application is where you hook kids. And this is a great way to apply what they're learning in math and physics. And that's the outcome.
Okay. Come on, I need some more ideas here to sell. Let me go to this young girl first, then I'll come back to you in a minute.
So one thing that I found through this is I think what Dean Kamen called it the hardest fun you'll ever have. As a student, I know a lot of my friends think that this is the most geeky thing you could ever do. Why would you ever want to do it?
Geeky is a good word. That's the word I heard all the time.
Yeah, it's a geeky thing. It's boring. It's for nerds. Why would you ever want to do it? But the fact is, when you're standing in that stadium and 300,000 people, 30,000 or so people are like cheering on and dancing with you and having like fun, the atmosphere is incredible. We had kids on our team who coming into competition were planning on quitting next year because like they didn't like the build season or whatever. But when they get to competition, they're like, wow, this is amazing. I want to do this next year. This is the greatest thing I've ever done. So just that atmosphere that it creates is amazing.